I've been a PGA professional for quite some time now, and I've spent a lot of that time reviewing the latest and greatest golf clubs. One of the big comments that I get when testing new drivers has always been, James, new driver technology just hasn't come on like people say it has. The new drivers are fantastic, yes, but it all comes down to the shaft technology. The shafts have moved on a lot more than the driver heads. So I've teamed up with the guys at Golf Clubs for Cash, who not only sell second-hand golf clubs, but also second-hand shafts on their website and in their stores at both Warrington and Edinburgh, to see if that really is the case. So I have a Ping G430 LS Tech, which can get around £430 second-hand at Golf Clubs for Cash, with a brand new Mitsubishi K-Lee 60 stiff shaft in there. And I also have another Ping G430 LS Tech, again in 9 degree, again with a tungsten weight set in the middle. This time I have a 30-year-old Ping shaft made by Aldila at the wrong side of the Millennium. This shaft doesn't feature the same qualities as the newer shaft, but the beauty about the shaft you can get at Golf Clubs for Cash is you can get them with different adapters on them. They'll fit an adapter for you if you want to buy a second-hand shaft, which is why this video has been possible. So we'll kick things off with the latest and greatest Ping G430 LS Tech together with the K-Lee shaft. Let's see how far down this hole we can get. Guys, I've also been on the launch monitor testing these two drivers to see just what the huge difference is. I've never seen a driver test like this with an old shaft with the new adapter in. There's also about 3/4 of an inch difference in length on these shafts as well. The old shaft will be out of a Ping G5 driver. How much effect is that going to have on club head speed, resulting in affecting ball speed and spin rate, effectively resulting in distance loss maybe, but accuracy gain maybe. You see, not everybody should have the longest golf shaft possible in their driver, because it does become a little bit harder to control. But to kick things off, that is a gorgeous drive with the modern day shaft. I've managed to keep it nice and low. The wind's moved it a little bit, but we are still bang smack in the middle of this fairway, which is exactly what we do want. Let's go another one. We'll try and hit the same shot with the old school Aldila shaft. One thing I'll say straight away is, although this is shorter, it actually feels a little bit heavier, so will I be able to move it as fast in that regard as well? I imagine torsional stiffness, which is the stiffness of the rotation of the shaft, isn't going to be as strong, so how easy is it to square this club face up as well? And just how good were the guys back in the day using these shafts? Very similar ball flight, launched a little bit lower, still a big cut. We've got a big wind off the left here. I'll be interested to see what difference is when we get down there. I think the old school shaft has missed the fairway to the right. I imagine the modern day ones just caught the fairway. Guys, we're going to get real scientific with this towards the back end of this video, so make sure you do stay tuned. Throw a like on it if you enjoy these type of videos, and let me know, would you upgrade your driver or just the shaft? Also guys, real quick one, if you do want anything from Golf Clubs for Cash, make sure you check out the link in the description below. There is a Ryder Cup special on at the moment as well. That won't be on forever, but you can save a couple of quid on second-hand clubs, grips and bags if you so want. Now let's go and see where they've finished, because I think this is going to get interesting. Now, quite a lot of you might be asking, James, why have you only hit one ball off that tee with each driver? I'm a massive believer when you test golf clubs, when you test shafts, when you test balls, when you test anything, you get one chance on a golf course. So that's the only amount of chances that I'm going to get out here testing them. I have, however, hit a load of balls already with the Golf Song Wave launch monitor, and the findings are quite interesting, and I will discuss those when we hit a few more tee shots. But straight away, looking down here, that is quite a big difference when we look at where the modern day shaft has finished in, I think that's just in the fairway, just, and the second hand shaft there in the rough. So not only has the modern day shaft stayed a little bit straighter, distance wise there's a couple of yards in it, not too many. Is that the shaft or is that me? Remember, this is human testing, this isn't machine testing, and that's the big difference I want to get into in this video as well. How good do you have to be to see a difference in both a new driver and a new driver shaft? Also, slight spoiler alert, this is the ball that I hit from back there off this tee, and this is the same tee I did the testing with on the Golf Song Wave. New shaft, new shaft. Consistency wise, is that what's changed, and is that what we're paying for? Get in the comments below and answer that question, and we'll go and hit some more shots. So I've now moved to a hole that's playing massively into the wind. The last hole we played was left to right wind, this is into the wind, and this is a big factor for me, which I wonder, is this where you start to see more of a difference? Is it more stable in the wind? Is the ball flight more stable? Can you carry it a little bit further? Does the spin rate stay a little bit lower? And also, do you start to hit the ball straighter with the modern day shaft because of that torsional stiffness which we spoke about earlier? So for the first shot this time, I'm going to hit the older shaft. This is a seed number 1, and the second shot's going to be the newer shaft, which will be a seed number 4. You can just hear that breeze now getting up a little bit, and as you can see, this hole does narrow up at your driving distance a little bit, but it's fairly wide, so we should be able to open up our shoulders and see just how much of a difference we can get. I must say, I have hit quite a few of these now because I've already done the numbers testing. I actually prefer the feel of the old shaft. How crazy is that? It gives off a slightly different sound on this G430 LS Tech. I'm not going to try and move this in the air at all. I've teed it a little bit lower. Just going to try and hit a nice straight one up this fairway. You can see again that's moving a little bit. Was a touch heely, so not the best strike, but on line with that bunker. Now we have the more modern shaft, a little bit longer, a little bit lighter, and it's interesting because some modern shafts will tell you what torsional stiffness they have. If you get a hazardous, that tells you what weight it is, what torsional stiffness it is, what flex it is, and everything like that. This doesn't have that on. I will be able to find it online and tell you. Same shot, keep it a little bit low into the wind. Ideally, this won't move as much in the air though. Yeah. Much better ball flight. I'll be very interested to see the differences in those. A lot less movement on that. I don't feel like the swings were too different. Yeah, I struck it a little bit in the heel with the first one, but could even that be down to the inconsistencies of the shaft with its kick points and its flexors and everything else? And I'm well aware that you have to be very careful when doing tests like this, that there are no biases, and I have no bias here at all. I don't really care what comes out on top, but for me I think it would be quite interesting if the older shaft does still perform well. We're never really hearing many great advancements with shaft technology. We do hear in consistency advancements, in quality advancements, in like fibre weaving the graphite and things like that. Obviously the biggest change that we saw was from steel to graphite. And I'm amazed actually that how bad that strike was. You can hear the wind here, and I'm showing you that on purpose, but how bad that strike was with the old one, and it's still in the fairway, albeit the right side of the fairway, and that is the newer shaft. Call that what? If we were to pace this out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards across. Now that wasn't a very good shot, and I felt like I actually hit that one really well. So realistically, is there a huge difference there? Guys, let's go one more then, let's talk numbers and see just how different this really is. Once again, a huge thanks to the guys at Golf Clubs for Cash for first of all coming up with this idea and then sourcing the driver and the shaft for me, because I think we're onto something here where we can make some really cool content moving forward. So smash that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and go and check out the guys at Golf Clubs for Cash Instagram for more cool little videos similar to this one. Okay, we've done crosswind, we've done into the wind. It is now time for downwind. This is a par 5. You can see it narrows up at driver distance. There's 2 huge bunkers on the right that you would pray don't come into play today, because this is playing quite heavily downwind. Is there going to be a huge difference here? Could the old shaft even get past the newer shaft? We'll go new shaft first this time, and then we'll switch it round. I have really enjoyed this test, guys, and I hope you have as well. I think it's quite an interesting factor, and it's a little bit eye-opening as well when we talk about club fittings. How important is getting fitted in the right shaft for your driver? I personally think it's very important, not so much to get the perfect spin rates and the best smash factor and the best distance, but to keep the ball on the planet, to make sure you can square this face up as often as possible, so you're in play as often as possible. That's one of the things which I've probably struggled more with the older shaft, and that might not be down to it being an older shaft, it might just be a shaft that doesn't suit myself. But right, lovely big turn, big fast downswing down the middle of the fairway. Right, that's as good a shot as I've got. That's down the left side, fading back. It's going to be in the rough. It started a little bit further left of where I wanted it to, but that's generally my bad shot with any driver anyway. Right, let's get this old school 30-year-old Ping Aldila shaft in the mix. It's amazing how much heavier this feels. It's got to be, it has to be slower. It has to be slower. That is an absolute bullet. You can see again how much movement that's got on it. It's almost dipped out the air actually. I really hit that well. Guys, let's talk numbers for both these shafts. It's amazing, I hit loads and loads of shots on actually the first hole that we started on, and this was my reaction as soon as I put the new shaft in my hands after hitting a load of shots with the old shaft. Right, first shot with the newer shaft, and one noticeable difference there is how easier it is to hit this driver straight. I couldn't stop the other one from just spinning to the right a little bit, probably being taken more by the wind because that is exactly where the wind's going. Could that be a huge difference with newer shaft? Does it help you stabilise the ball flight in the wind, especially with the spin axis? It could really help. So you see, one of the big differences that I actually found here wasn't so much in distance or spin rates or ball speeds, but more trying to keep the golf ball to go straighter. So probably more a spin axis problem. But as you can see, the numbers were fairly similar. There was a couple of miles an hour ball speed in it. The spin rate was quite a big difference, resulting in around 5 yards difference in distance. Is that a huge difference for 30 years worth of shaft technology? Guys, get in the comments below and let me know. And as you can see, quite a difference there in ball speed, quite a difference in spin rate, resulting in a bit of a difference in the distance. But the big difference for me was that dispersion. I can't hit this older shaft anywhere near as bullet straight as I can the newer shaft, and I honestly think that's down to a little bit of the torsional stiffness, the rotational speed of the shaft, but I also think it's down to the weight of it and me not feeling like I can release it properly. I've hit 60 gram stiff shafts for years and years and years, and I've always enjoyed them. That's exactly what the Cali shaft is that we have here. I don't know the weight of the old shaft, and I know it's a stiff, that's pretty much all I know. Let's go down, let's see the difference on this par 5, but very interesting numbers there. Maybe not as different as you would have thought, but still a difference there for a 30-year shaft development. And we can see a ball in the rough here, which is the modern day shaft. Like I said, just pulled it a little bit, and right back there is the old school shaft. Actually in the fairway, but I couldn't kit it straight. I tried to start it on the left side and move it a little bit. Well, this one did. It didn't move really at all. Quite a big difference in distance there. It's probably another 8 to 10 yards again. Guys, thanks for watching. Smash that subscribe button. Go check out the guys at Golf Clubs Forecast. Lots more fun videos coming. And apart from that, I'll see you all at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.